The Beginner's Bible.
An angry king. Matthew chapter 2, verses 13 through 23.
When the wise men did not return, King Herod became very angry. He yelled at his soldiers,
"Go and find the boy. I will be the only king of the Jews."
But God's angel warned Joseph in a dream.
Take your family and escape to Egypt. Do not return until I tell you it is safe.
That night, Joseph and Mary left for Egypt with baby Jesus. Years later, God's angel said to Joseph in a dream,
King Herod is dead. Now it is safe to leave Egypt.
So Joseph, Mary, and Jesus left Egypt and went back home to Nazareth.
Jesus is lost. Luke chapter 2, verses 41 through 52.
Jesus grew up in Nazareth. Every year, Jesus and his family would go to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover feast. When Jesus was 12, they went to the feast as usual. The streets were crowded with people. On the way back home to Nazareth, Mary and Joseph couldn't find Jesus. They asked their relatives and friends,
"Have you seen Jesus?"
but no one knew where he was. Mary and Joseph went back to Jerusalem. They looked and looked for Jesus. Finally, after 3 days, they found him. Jesus was talking with the teachers in the temple. The teachers were amazed. Jesus was very wise for such a young boy. Mary and Joseph rushed to Jesus.
"We were so worried about you,"
said Mary. Jesus knew God was his father. He said,
"I had to come to my father's house."
He loved and obeyed his parents too. So he returned home with them and grew stronger and wiser.
John baptizes Jesus. Matthew chapter 3, verses 1 through 17. Mark chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. Luke chapter 3, verses 1 through 22. And John chapter 1, verses 1 through 34.
John was born just before Jesus was. They were cousins. When John grew up, he lived in the desert and ate bugs and honey. John told the people about God. They asked him many questions about what is right and what is wrong. John told them to be good and kind and honest. John preached about God's forgiveness. Many people decided to follow God. John baptized the people in a river. John told the people to get ready for a special person who would save them from their sins. One day, Jesus came to the river. John knew Jesus was that special person. Jesus told him,
"I need to be baptized by you."
John was surprised, but Jesus said,
"It is right for you to do this."
So John took Jesus into the Jordan River and baptized him. The Holy Spirit came down from heaven in the form of a dove. It landed on Jesus. Jesus smiled. Then God said,
"This is my son, and I love him. I am very pleased with him."
Jesus chooses his disciples. Matthew chapter 4, verses 18 through 22. Chapter 9, verse 9, and chapter 10, verses 1 through 4. Mark chapters 1 through 3, and Luke chapters 5 through 6.
Jesus began to tell people about God. He knew he had a lot of work to do, and he went to find some helpers. As Jesus was walking along the seashore, he saw some fishermen. Jesus called to them,
"Come, follow me. I will make you fishers of people."
Right away, they left their boats and followed Jesus. Their names were Peter, Andrew, James, and John. Later, Jesus met a tax collector named Matthew. His job was to get the tax money from the people and give it to the king. Matthew quit his job to follow Jesus too. Jesus chose some more people. Their names were Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, and another man named James. Thaddeus, Simon, and Judas joined them too. Jesus now had 12 new followers. He called them his disciples. Jesus taught them about God's love.